So, hey everybody, welcome back to That Girl Casey. Today, with this video, I decided I wanted to talk about something different, okay? What I want to do is start chronologizing a new breed of people who really aren't that new, but that are getting more attention nowadays. A breed of people called race hustlers. Let me define a race hustler. A race hustler is a black person with prominence, who has money, who is intelligent, who is smart, and who also makes their money on reminding black people that they have the boot on their back and that they're oppressed, and that there's white privilege that's oppressing black people every day that they cannot come out of. That's hustling. People like this write books on stories like this, or, they look at everything through the eyes of just black and white. While I will agree that there are racial disparities in the world, nothing should ever stop you from being the person that you are meant to be. So, my first episode on race hustling was going to be on the king of race hustlers, Al Sharpton. But Ibram X. Kendi decided to put both feet in his mouth this weekend, so I have to start with him. So first, let me introduce you to Ibram X. Kendi. Ibram X. Kendi, who's born Abram Henry Rogers, is a professor at Boston University, and he's an author. He's written books such as Stamped from the Beginning and How to Be an Anti-Racist. His books appear in school curriculums and corporate training programs, and one of his books is even on the Navy's official reading list. He believes in everything is racism. His solution to everything is to be anti-racist, to see color, to judge people on the basis of their color. So let me give you an example of what that would mean. Let's say you have a student in your class who is a black kid and he keeps turning in his assignments late. Well, instead of telling him, wow, you're really smart and your assignments, your project really is good, you have to do better with your time because you want to learn time management now. So when you're an adult, you can be better at it when you get older. You would actually take a step back, look at the child and say, well, he's a black kid, so he might not be good with time. So since he might not be good with time, it would be racist of me to expect him to meet that challenge. So instead, I should actually give him an extra day so that he could get his work done. That type of thinking is backwards to anything that makes any sense out here in America. First of all, you want to set children up with tools that they can use when they're adults so they don't end up having something called adjustment mood disorder and have to end up in places like psych hospitals or jails. Okay. And by the way, that disorder is a real DSM-5. So that's like a little snippet, just a little snippet into his thinking. But why don't we get into the tweet where he took both of his feet and put them right in his mouth? So Ibram tweeted over the weekend, more than a third of white students lied about their race on college applications. And about half of these applicants lied about being Native American. More than 3/4 of these students who lied about their race were accepted. So in his tweet, he's trying to say, well, because they were white, they lied and still got accepted. But Ibram, you actually making everybody else's point. They lied and got accepted. The people who were accepting them in their applications thought they were Native Americans and they got accepted. So you end up making other people's point. You actually went against what you say all the time, that white people get more advantages than anybody else, especially black people. And so then he tried to fix it. He spent the whole weekend trying to fix it. Saturday night, he tweeted another tweet. He said, here's their tortured line of thinking. When white applicants think they have an advantage by lying about being a person of color, then that means they do have an advantage, which means structural racism doesn't exist. There you go, you're taking it too far. Nobody's saying structural racism doesn't exist. I'm sure there are places where discrimination takes place. It's not necessarily a policy that's written, but you can tell that it's a thought in people's mind and everybody's pretty much on the same bandwagon, but nobody said that didn't exist. But you already taking it way too far because you know you messed up. You put both feet in your mouth. And then, of course, other people saw his comment and his tweet and started calling him out on it. And one person tweeted, Ibram X. Kendi accidentally admits minority applicants have a better chance of getting into college, deletes tweet, and then he deletes the tweet, okay? And then he gets defended too by the mainstream media, of course. And then he retweets that tweet and says, they lie about what I said to defend the lying of white college applicants. And I mean, woke up the next morning, was still on it. And I'm like, yo, bro, let it go. Let it go. See, my problem with this is the reason why I call out these hustlers is because Ibram, while you are saying that black people have no chance out here, basically, you're saying that the system is in place to keep us down at all times, all right? You have your books in curriculums in schools, in the U.S. Navy, that's like on their reading list, okay? And this brother charges $20,000 an hour for certain Zoom calls or whatever, if you need to talk to him on a Zoom, $20,000 an hour. That's what he charges. These are the same people, him and his other counterparts, which I'll be getting to them soon. They say stuff like capitalism is the white patriarchal system. It's a white patriarchal system not designed to allow like black people to be a part of it. But you are a millionaire. You are a millionaire. You can't say that because you are the example of that not being true. Also, you are preying on this guilt, this guilt that some white people, white liberals, have about something that happened in the past, which was egregious, but you prey on it, and then they listen to you, and it becomes this very weird religion, this anti-racism, Black Lives Matter organization religion, where these people, anything he says, they're going to believe it, which must be true because they're paying him $20,000 an hour. Ibram, why don't you talk about, stuff like, hey, guys, while the system can be discriminating, it definitely can, we still could beat it. If you believe in yourself and know that you have value as a person, you still can become whatever you want to become, even if you do have to work harder than somebody else. It may not be fair, but if you want to live in your life instead of exist in your life, this is what you do. This is how I did it, and this is what you do. But he's not going to write anything like that because it doesn't make money. It's not controversial enough. It's boring to him. Look at all the money he's making by telling everybody, pay attention to color. And because you're black, you need mad crutches. You need to be held up because you can't do anything on your own. These people don't believe in individuality and individual values and accountability. And it's bad and detrimental to the black community. The black community is not handicapped. The black community is not criminals. The black community is not irresponsible. The black community, yes, we all need to support each other. We all should tell each other that, hey, you're great and you are worth living your best life. Period. Instead of existing in your life. And this is why I really get sick of these race hustlers, because they make more money by telling you that you have a boot on your back and you'll never be able to stand up. And that is not true. They stood up, so you can too. You can too, because you're worth standing up. You can too, because it's your life and you should stand up. And in the end, I'm not saying I'm mad at this guy or I don't like him. I don't know him. Money makes people do all kinds of things. So he is at a point in his life where he's getting rich and getting greedy with his fake narratives. And that's what I call them. Because while we could have had a real discussion about racial disparities and certain discrimination policies and things like that do exist, we can't, because now you have people who hustle and say every single thing is racism. I guess Ibram is not going to take any time to look into himself and have accountability because, like I said, he spent the whole weekend trying to defend the mistake that he made, the unraveling of his whole narrative of his whole campaign. All right. So that's all I have for you today on this Race Hustler. But I'll be back again soon. Trust me, because I'm chronologizing all of them and I'm calling them all out, whether they see these videos or not, because it is important to have these conversations. So thank you for joining me on That Girl Casey. And like I always say, you made it this far, go ahead and hit subscribe. It's not going to hurt you and you'll learn a lot. Thank you for coming through. Have a good night. Bye.